everybody, welcome back to Ghostly French Toast, and hopefully you can tell the audio quality has improved because I've gotten actually a new mic. So hopefully, not a new mic, an actual mic, not just speaking into my phone. So hopefully the audio sounds a bit better, and today's Lord video is going to be on the Dancer of the Boreal Valley. And sorry for the lack of videos, I've just been really busy, but I'm going to try to get back into it, so yeah. So enough dawdling around, let's dive on in. To understand the dancer, we gotta understand Pontiff Sullivan, the man behind the overthrowing of the old gods. Pontiff Sullivan originally came from the painted world of Ariandel, and the weird thing about that is because most people aren't really born into the painted world itself. They come here after experiencing some kind of loss. And like the Millwood Knights, the Abyss Watchers, and Frida to say after she tried to light the flame. And that's the main weird thing, because Pontiff was born into it, so he didn't feel lost, and after that, he left the painted world. And once he left the painted world, he traveled for a bit. He came across the Cathedral of the Deep, and my guess, he rose up the ranks of the cathedral. And my personal theory, I talk about this in my Pontiff Sullivan video, I will link in the description. He basically traveled for a while, until he came across the profaned flame, and with that he crafted the profaned greatsword. Another theory with Pontiff Sullivan, I talked about it briefly in my Pontiff Sullivan video, is he might have been a Blades of the Dark Moon, because the main reason people believe that is because his Greatsword of Judgment has the Dark Moon blade buff on it once you use the weapon art kind of deal, and I that makes sense to me. But enough talking about his swords, we're talking about Pontiff Sullivan and what he did. Pontiff Sullivan unrightfully declared himself as Pontiff and took over Earthel with his Outrider Knights. And I'll talk about the Outrider Knights a bit, but I need to discuss something. Anor Londo. Anor Londo is such an interesting thing, and it doesn't really make sense being there, but we're just not going to say it, because it's Dark Souls. It's Dark Souls 3. Pontiff Sullivan unrightfully declared himself Pontiff, and with that, he basically gained power over Earthel. And some of the fading gods were still in Anor Londo, like Gwendolyn and Yorshka. But Yorshka was basically locked up by Pontiff, unlike Gwendolyn, who was consumed by Aldridge after Pontiff's like, hey, homie, do you want to, like, chill? So, that was an interesting. But the main reason I'm talking about Earthel and Anor Londo is because the Dancer of the Boreal Valley is said to be one of Guinevere's daughters, and we know Guinevere originally resided in Anor Londo before she left, and my personal theory became the Queen of Lothric. But it makes sense, but we're not going to talk about that. I have a Guinevere video I was thinking of doing, but So after all that shebang, after Pontiff took control, the Dancer of the Boreal Valley became a dancer for Pontiff. And as we know, Pontiff is like, hey, you know, it'd be funny if I transformed you into a beast. We see these all across Earthel. We see these with we see it even reach the Cathedral of the Deep with the spider cats. We see one in Anor Londo. We see the alligator dog things. I don't know the name for them, but they're Pontiff's creation. And we also see the Outrider Knights. And we know the Outrider Knights used to be like normal looking things, if you call like big skinny people normal. Wait, I'm a big skinny person. Dang. Sorry about that. If you tall, lengthy, slender looking people, if that, you know what I'm talking about. Call them normal. And we see Vort Dancer and a few other Outrider Knight ghosts walking the streets of Earthel, most likely leaving to go scout out basically kingdoms. And to basically, the Outrider Knights were basically sent to scout out other kingdoms and make sure everything was going according to plan. And my personal theory, I believe Pontiff was trying to invade, because if you declare yourself unrightfully Pontiff, you have all this power, like, hey, I want to get some more power. And we know Lothric is a kingdom falling in ruins, and most of the Outrider Knights are found in Lothric, because we have two in Lothric Castle and one in Undead Settlement. I think those are all locations. And we also have Dancer and Vort. Once they set out, Pontiff each gave him one of the rings. The rings of I'm having a blank. Rings that basically transformed them into these beasts, kind of say, as time went on. And we know that the rings basically increased your damage for rapid attacks and increased your HP for damaging. And we can see, like, the closest thing I compare this to is the Beastly Scourge in Yharnam. The rings drove them mad as they tried to heal themselves, if that makes sense. And these rings transformed into these beast-like creatures that basically thrived on keeping themselves alive, because we know that their armor was crafted into their skin after they used these rings. And we see the Dancer and Vort. This is something I really want to talk about. The Dancer and Vort must have had like some close relationship, like either a loving relationship or just a friendship kind of deal, because the Dancer's armor, and says basically Vort and the Dancer were never far apart from each other, and as you know, they're crossed to separate ways. I don't believe the Dancer was trying to protect Lothric as a whole, Lothric Castle, all that kind of shit. I believe she was just there to scout out and look after Vort, because Vort was making sure no one escapes the castle. And the Dancer's story is a quite simple one, but ties so much into all the other lore in the world of Dark Souls. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. Sorry for the lack of video. Hopefully the audio quality is better. And yeah, see you next time. Go see French Toast. Bye.